I think there's a chance Tom Brady comes back to the Patriots next season.
Come on.
Let's go.
Say this to me.
Let's go.
There's some breadcrumbs being dropped.
Oh, I've seen some breadcrumbs. Let Bill take the stage.
All right, we'll go big picture. We'll go. Sorry, Kyle. This is why you need to be on camera.
Why are you saying this?
I know. This is why it's such a great YouTube clip. Let's go backwards. Why does he leave New England? Right? 20 years in the same place. You get tired of your boss. You feel underappreciated. You have a wife who wants to get out of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Let's go to Florida. But really, it was partly, I can't win here anymore. This is why LeBron James left Cleveland in 2010 and then left Miami in 2014. It wasn't, I'm coming home. It wasn't about that. It was his best place to win, and the coming home was an extra part. It's an extra piece. Oh, I get to do this. I'm coming up. Now, it's actually, they have the number one pick, and they have Kyrie Irving, and they have a bunch of lottery picks, and you have a chance to win the title in Cleveland. Brady goes to Tampa. Why does he go to Tampa, Schrager? Ultimately, as a football decision, why did it make sense?
Loaded roster, draft picks in the top 10 every single year, and basically the keys to the kingdom. We'll get in all your friends. You could bring Alex Guerrero. You could bring Gronk. You could bring whoever you want. It's yours. Just please join our team.
It's a move to win a title. Get away from Belichick, maybe work on the legacy a little bit. All right, he does it. It wins. It's successful. It's great. But now we're 2 years later. He's going through a divorce. You start to really look around and see, who are my friends? What have I done with my life? What matters? What's my legacy? Is my legacy I'm just the greatest quarterback ever? Who do I belong to? Who are my people? And you look around, your family's in tatters. You're on this Tampa Bay team that sucks. We're going to talk about them in $1 million picks later. You got your title out of them, but you're not getting another title out of them.
No.
Thought about going to Miami. That door's closed. They have a quarterback, Tua. Niners, they have Trey Lance, Jimmy G. You can't go home to San Francisco. You start looking at that Pat situation again. What happened, 4 or 5 weeks ago? Who shows up at Bob Kraft's birthday party
On a Friday
during
night.
the week?
On a Friday night.
Before a Tampa Bay Bucks game. Why would somebody do that, Peter Schrager? Why?
Somebody who truly loves the owner and the franchise.
Now you start thinking, where was I happy? Where did I belong? Who are my people? And it's the Patriots fans. What's the best thing for my legacy? Oh, I peter out on the 7-10, 8-9 Bucks team. I lose in round one. Then I go to Fox. I don't think he wants to go to Fox. I just think he's on the wrong team. He needs an offensive line. Well, the Pats have an offensive line. He needs tight ends to have those. He needs a running back who can catch the ball out of the backfield. How about Ramondre Stevenson? How about a bunch of receivers that can do some stuff? How about a young team that is probably like one more year away from being decent? He goes there for a year, comes back home, puts a bow on it. I'm a Patriot for life. This is where I want to be. Bob Kraft is the most meaningful relationship I've had as an adult. He's like a second father to me. And then you start floating out I didn't really want to leave in the first place, but my wife wanted me to leave. And, this divorce is going to probably get uglier and uglier. You start making her, you paint in certain things. I never wanted to go. I left because of my family. My wife didn't want to be here anymore. Now you're shifting it. Guess who's embracing him with open arms? New England,
Patriot
Massachusetts,
Nation?
Boston. Every Patriot fan. Tom Brady's back for one more year. One more time. Let's put a bow on this. An 8th title. Let's do this. Mac Jones, do you want to be tutored by Tom Brady for a year? How's that sound? Bradley Zappi. You're just going to be wearing a headset this year, but boy, you're going to learn
Bradley
some shit.
Zappi. Bradley.
And Bailey Zappi. Bailey Zappi too. He's also going to learn shit. Bailey Zappi, put a headset on. Just learn from the GOAT for a year. Oh my God, it's so glad to have him back. TB12, fine. Belichick and Brady together, this is how it has to end. The Shawshank reunion. This is Dirk Diggler coming back to Jack Horner's house at the end. They always come back, Peter Schrager. I'm just saying, don't rule it out.
Brother, I like it. Let me give you a little validity on this thing, and Kyle, just
and we should say I did not tip you off on any of this.
No, and there was like a sprinkling of this earlier this week online that has kind of made its way to me and been like, well, some of the people in Tampa and New England, what are they saying? And I'm like, I haven't heard it from anyone. However, I did go through an exercise on Good Morning Football where I listed the free agent quarterbacks for 2023. And I said, Lamar's coming back to Baltimore. They'll figure it out. But it's an interesting class because you've got Sam Darnold now at 25 years old who can maybe rectify his career elsewhere or stay in Carolina. You got Baker. You've got this Heineke now who's suddenly a thing. You've got Daniel Jones potentially. You've got Garoppolo. And I go through this. I go, it's an interesting class when going into the season. I don't think we thought that. And I got multiple texts, not one, multiple texts from people who watch our show around the league saying, you forgot Brady. You forgot Brady. You forgot Brady. So everyone's assumption that this is Brady's swan song and he's going to go out and just be in a booth next year calling, I don't know, Washington Commanders versus the Eagles on a Week 7 game. That deal with Fox, that's out there. I think that's out there when he wants to take that deal. I don't think there was a hard deadline.
What was the timing of that deal? The timing was they're about to talk to their investors. We need some sort of something. Hey, is it okay if we announce this? It seemed pretty half-assed and rushed.
I don't know the details. I'm a Fox employee. I will not go into the fact that it was timed along the earnings call and after Buck and Aikman left. That is not my place to say anything. I will say this. They're expecting him to eventually join Fox Sports, but there is no hard date of like, all right, the second the Super Bowl is done, Tom Brady is going to be here. Now, what he signed on for was he'd attend some investor relations events. He would be the public face of it. He could still do that and still be the quarterback of another team. As for the Patriots side of it.
Wait, hold on. One more thing on the Bucs. Pushes out Bruce Arians. Let's be honest. He did that. That happened. They bring in Todd Bowles. Hasn't been great. That performance last week of Bowles and Leftwich and the whole Tampa coaching staff was awful. And there's just no way Brady comes back to the Bucs. I think that is the one prediction I am 100% on, that he will not play in Tampa Bay next year. And then if you start looking around, well, where would he go? All of the teams he'd want to go to are gone, which brings me back to the Pats. So go ahead.
Okay, so then you go through those teams and you say, okay, what teams might have holes at quarterback? You start looking. The guys in the AFC West are pretty much spoken for. Would he go to McDaniels and maybe it's like I don't think he's going to Vegas to like. I just don't see it. I know he
same
loves Josh.
Situation, like I know he loves team. You're not winning a title with that.
Then you're like, all right, in the division. It's really tough in the AFC East right now. You've got Tua. You've got this great thing. Like, what's the worst division in football? It's actually the division he's in right now. So would he go to Carolina with Tepper, where there's all sorts of potential money? I don't know if he wants to. New Orleans?
Stop.
You start.
The Giants are like mildly interesting, but I don't think it solves the am I a guaranteed contender problem. Not that the Pats do, but at least the Giants puts them in New York.
It's a really fun topic, and it's really fun for us. I think the other part is he's got a son in high school in New York City right now.
Yeah,
he'd be
very
closer
to
New
England last time I checked.
Closer to New England, and there is this feeling of like, I said it multiple times, and I think you did too. If he had walked off after that Rams loss in the playoffs, where he took his team back from 24 points, and
great
they had
sunset ending.
Great ending.
Yeah.
Great ending. Like Brady at his last game, gave it everything. And then Cooper Kupp and Stafford on their own miracle run had one more play in them. And that's how it ends. Fine. You mentioned it
this is the worst ending possible. He's going to go out on a losing team. He fires his coach. He's getting divorced. They're like, 27th in the red zone? It's just not a fun season.
You had Matt Bellani on after the Bob Iger news, and I love that you started an A block on a Monday morning talking Bob Iger, because that's But the point was what's your legacy? What are you going to go out at? And I think it matters, and I think it really matters to Brady. So I don't know if it's Patriots, and I think it's a cool story, but I'm not sure I see Brady ending his career on a 7-10 Buccaneers team that lost in the wild card round to Dallas. You know what I mean?
And for people who think he doesn't care about his legacy, first of all, that's insane. Every great athlete does. Mm-hmm. Second, this is a guy who trademarked TB12, who felt like his mission was just to prove that greatness could be sustainable for more than just him. And he does care about this stuff. Kyle, when you think about Brady's legacy and he comes back to New England for one last year, maybe he appreciates Belichick a little bit more, right? It's like, I've had Bruce Arians skipping out at 4:30 because he wanted to get 9 in. I've had Todd Bowles just flatlining during as we have a 7-point lead. I've seen the other side. This So Belichick side, maybe I underrated a little. They've won. When you've won multiple times with somebody, I don't care if that guy's, I fucking hate that guy. I'm so tired of him. You still have like ties and connections with them. And then the Kraft thing is the big thing to me, because that's probably one of the best relationships he has. So Kyle, as this is all laid out, first of all, it gets announced Tom Brady is back. What's your reaction?
Here we go. I mean, I've enjoyed I love rooting for him. I mean, the Super Bowl was like, magical for me in my own little way. But it's been really nice knowing when the cliff comes on, like when we hit the cliff, it's not my problem anymore. I've been actually pretty good at divorcing that. I really like that. I've super enjoyed that part of, the close games and the bad throws and, whatever, the losses. That's been really nice that I can just sort of, I'm an uncle now. I'm not a parent, I can just sort of just go home. Take. So that was really nice. And it was sort of like getting through like a hard semester and then being done with it. And so I wouldn't want to go back to school and take a test right now, but that's what it sort of would feel like if he came back. And then the other thing is, like, is he going to be cool that Matt Patricia and somebody else Joe Judge are now calling the plays? Like, isn't that sort of a disaster a little bit in his eyes, I wonder.
How about offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury?
Oh, so we're just throwing people
out. Did you see Schrager blink when I threw that out? Schrager, who kind of are buddies together a little bit? Tom Brady and Cliff?
Yeah, they went to the Derby one year together. They went to Baker's Bay in Bahamas. They've got stories. Cliff has great stories with them.
They'll probably, I think, would probably figure out an offensive coordinator to make them happy. And then, I don't think they would have to trade anything, right? It's a fun thought exercise, but I do think
Let me just add one more part to this. Let me add a couple more things to this, because why not? I'll empty the bag and let's just see.
Let's do it.
He was in a conversation with the Miami Dolphins to potentially be their quarterback, and they had his agent, Don Yee, who also represents Sean Payton. There were conversations. This isn't like a crazy idea that Brady behind the scenes would maneuver something. He's already done it once before.
Right, and he did it with the Tampa coach as well.
Yes.
He did that with going to Tampa, and then we found out from who had the Vegas revelation?
Yeah, it was revealed that like on the barber shop when he said that.
Oh, it was Dana White.
Was that what it was? Dana White talking to Gronk.
Dana White talking to Gronk about how Brady almost ended up in Vegas, and then that one fell apart. So Brady's been maneuvering this whole time, and I do think he cares about the legacy thing. I don't think he wants to go out this way, I think going back to the Pats solves a lot of issues for that dude.
So I work with Jason McCourty. And Jason's lovely. And Jason's brother on Thursday night played his 200th game and started every single game. And Kraft came out during the week and came out with a collage. And, we're sitting there at the set and I say to Jason, I'm like, not every team does that. And he's like, RK came in. He's like, that's our guy. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I only played there 3 years, but like, you have no idea the love that we have for that owner and like what he means to us all. And I'm like, it's good. I'm with Danny Amendola last weekend. The two of us went out. He was in LA. He's promoting this Fox show, Special Forces Fox with Mike Piazza. I'm watching that. We go out for dinner. And I'm like, do you still talk to the Patriots guys? Like, yeah, I went to different teams afterwards, Miami, Detroit, and, Houston. He's like, but Kraft, man, that's our guy. Like, there is something special about that Robert Kraft relationship with the players when they won that I think it's universal, but it's got to be even stronger with Tom Brady. I'm just throwing stuff into the fire here.
I'm glad you brought up Kraft because that's the last piece of this. So something very interesting has happened in the Boston sports scene. The Celtics are the dominant team and the Bruins are really, really good too, right? And it's turned into the Celtics-Bruin thing. So you have the Pats playing Buffalo. We're taping this before the Pats-Buffalo game today. And if the Pats lose, their season's probably over. Yeah. The Celtics own the town. Tatum is the most popular, biggest athlete in the town by far.
I have no feel for Boston sports. So you're telling me that
I'm giving you, Tatum's the guy. So I had, my dad and my uncle went to see the Celtics Heat last night and they had Prince, William, and Kate were there sitting courtside. And my dad, the owner sit right in front of my dad, like 4 rows in front. Tatum went over and talked to them before the game, and he walked away, and he was just locked in. He had 28 in the first half. And my Uncle Bob, because they FaceTimed me after, they were like, Tatum like wanted to put on a show for those dudes. It was like real greatness from Tatum.
For the owners or for the Royals?
No, for the Royals.
Really?
He was like, these Royals are here. I'm going to put on a fucking show for them. He dropped 28. Like Tatum's like a god right now. And I think Kraft sees this. Kraft was in this position where it was like, it was them and the Red Sox. It was the Celtics for a couple of years, but it was always the Pats first. Now they're third. And they're not as, they're still, it's a football city. I get it. They're always going to be relevant. There's always going to be Mac versus Zappy arguments, stuff like that. But Kyle, what flips the script more than Tom Brady coming back?
This would do it. It's definitely shocking. And I just want to put, I would absolutely accept him back. And I know Brady would love a chance to squash a Pats quarterback that's been drafted by us. So he'd love to do that one more time.
Well, look at some of the stuff Kraft's done, right? Like even like the Meek Mill thing, where he was like passionately trying to, get Meek Mill out of prison. I think if Kraft looks at this and goes, you know what? This is great. This would be great. This is a great ribbon to put on this giant present of the Tom Brady era. I'm going to make this happen. Tom's in a not great place. His marriage just fell apart. He's had the worst 2022 possible. I'm going to be there for him. I'm going to work it. I'm going to try to get him back. I think it's possible. That's why I'm throwing it out there because I know it's possible.
Brady's got a new clothing line, Brady brand. He's got the TB12. You know who Kraft's best friend is these days? Like the best friend is Michael Rubin from Fanatics. I'm talking they are right. Inseparable. If you could somehow introduce that whole world to, I mean, Brady knows Michael Rubin, but like this is no brainer if he's trying to get into the sports apparel and trying to get into that world as well. And in the Hamptons every summer, Michael Rubin throws this huge bash. You know who guest number 1 is? Robert Kraft. You know who guest number 2 is? Bon Jovi. And who hosted Kraft's birthday party this past summer, 80th surprise birthday party with Edelman there and the McCourty's there and Brady there. Michael Rubin. Like I feel like this is, if Brady's got to have a future like long on and doing the clothing stuff and doing the marketing and all that stuff, like dude, there's a lot of stuff that makes a lot of sense here. Now, the question is, does Belichick want Brady back? And that's the big thing, because I think Belichick ultimately, it was an understanding that this was where this is going, but like there was no warm and fuzzy pitch to Tom Brady on the way out. It wasn't like, hey, let's go for one more run here, and Brady being like, no. It was, I think they both knew it was time to move on, and Belichick didn't fight for it. The Alex Guerrero piece was interesting.
Wait, hold on with the Belichick thing.
Yeah.
Belichick's a history guy. He fucking loves the history of the NFL.
Yes, he does.
Like really more than anybody. He loves it.
Lacrosse and history.
He knows, like, he could tell you all the coach wins over the years, what the fucking
Akron
list
zips,
is.
The Akron,
oh my God.
Like,
and he gets like the big picture piece of this. And I think he would embrace it, because let me tell you something. They're not winning the Super Bowl with the team they have. And if you even put this year's version of Brady on this team, they would have been better. But I just think there's too many arrows that are pointing a certain way for us not to take this seriously. We've dropped a lot of information on this podcast this year that has been successful.
I think both of us
and basketball,
pretty plugged in on this stuff too.
Yeah,
and I'm not discrediting you.
Like Robert Sarver not wanting to sell the Suns to Iger, and now Iger's back at Disney. Like, I would just take this stuff seriously. I don't bring this up just out of nowhere to get aggregated. So
I say the same. I say the same things, Bill, on like our show. I'm like, I don't say it if I don't think there's something to it.
You're throwing. There's smoke. I'm just telling you. All right. We could talk about this. You could talk about this on Good Morning America. Yeah. I'm excited for Jason's thoughts on Good Morning Football tomorrow on this.
Of course, I will ask him. But real quick on like Alex Guerrero. So if you don't know, he's Brady's personal guy. Willie McGinnis brought him in. He was always part of it. But like there was a conflict of how much access Guerrero had and who got to go and work out with Guerrero, and if he was working with the Patriots trainers, not. When he got to Tampa, it was like have the building, have a shirt, have an office, have everything. I think that Guerrero does still have a huge presence with the TB12 stuff up there, and I'd wonder if Belichick would loosen up a little bit. And I know at the end there they actually did come together and it was okay, but like if Brady comes in and is like, I'm only coming back if my guy has full access again, if Belichick would be willing to say, yeah, you know what, whatever it takes.
Belichick is old and he's turning into a softie. He's got 2 fucking kids working for him on the team. Come on.